welcome back to Running the Race. My name is Heather if you are new here. Today we're going to be talking about the different types of faith that is mentioned in the Bible. And I hope that this will challenge you to deepen your faith with Christ. First, I'm going to read Hebrews 11, the entire chapter, which is a little bit lengthy, but I really want you to listen to the words and think about the stories and the characters in this passage and allow that to encourage you. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. By faith Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith Abel still speaks even though he is dead. By faith Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. By faith Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear built an ark to save his family. By his faith he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness that is in keeping with faith. By faith Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went even though he did not know where he was going. By faith he made his home in the promised land, like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs of him of the same promise. For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God. And by faith even Sarah, who was past childbearing age, was enabled to bear children because she considered him faithful who had made the promise. And so out of this one man, and he as good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sand on the seashore. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country they had left, they would have had the opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. By faith, Abraham, when God tested him, offered Isaac as a sacrifice. He who had embraced the promises was about to sacrifice his one and only son, even though God had said to him, "It is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned." Abraham reasoned that God could even raise the dead, and so in a manner of speaking, he did receive Isaac back from death. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in regard to their future. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of Joseph's sons and worshipped as he leaned on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when his end was near, spoke about the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt and gave instructions concerning the burial of his bones. By faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months after he was born, because they saw that he was no ordinary child, and they were not afraid of the king's edict. By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. By faith he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He persevered because he saw him who is invisible. By faith he kept the Passover in the application of blood, so that the destroyer of the firstborn would not touch the firstborn of Israel. By faith the people passed through the Red Sea as on dry land, but when the Egyptians tried to do so, they were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell, after the army had marched around them for 7 days. By faith the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. And what more shall I say? I do not have time to tell about Gideon, Barak, Samson, and Japheth, about David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, and gained what was promised, who shut the mouths of lions, quenched the fury of the flames, and escaped the edge of the sword, whose weakness was turned to strength, and who became powerful in battle and routed foreign armies. Women received back their dead, raised to life again. There were others who were tortured, refusing to be released so that they might gain an even better resurrection. Some faced jurors and flogging, and even chains and imprisonment. They were put to death by stoning. They were sawed in two. They were killed by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted, and mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains, living in caves and in holes in the ground. These were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised, since God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect. I hope that you were as encouraged by this as I was. Every time I read this passage, it fills me with encouragement of wanting to have a deeper and stronger faith. All of the people in this passage mentioned were just incredible examples of stepping out in faith, especially when in their day and age, the world was telling them that they're crazy or that they shouldn't have been born or they aren't going to amount to anything, or they were persecuted for their faith and they were killed and they were in chains and imprisonment. And thankfully, most of us, we don't have to go through that type of persecution. But I feel like a lot of us, or at least for me, I don't step out in faith as much as I should, like these characters in the Bible. We need to step out in faith. We need to be on fire for Jesus and to share his word and to learn as much as we can about him. And this world, we're probably not going to be here much longer. And I don't say that to scare you, but I say it as looking at the signs of the times, and we need to have strong faith. More than ever, we need to do that. I want to now look into different parts of the Bible when it talks about different types of faith. The first one that I want to look at is in James chapter 2, verse 14. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. But someone will say, "You have faith, I have deeds." Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. You believe that there is one God. Good. Even the demons believe that and shudder. You can say that you have faith, and you may even believe it yourself. But in this passage, it's telling us that we need to have some action put behind those words. We need to actually go out and do something. We can't just sit idly by and say, "Yeah, I have faith. Yeah, I believe this. I read my Bible. I go to church. I'm a good person." Faith without works is dead. Even the demons believe. They believe. They know that they have faith. They have faith that God is real, but they're obviously not going to live for him. That shows you that anyone can have faith, but it's not the same type of faith that you need. The next passage I want to look at is in Matthew 7, and this is verse 21. Not everyone who says to me, "Lord, Lord," will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, do we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. So we just talked about how you need to have actions to accompany your faith. But you also have to have that balance of doing things with a pure heart and not for your own gain. In Matthew chapter 6:3, it talks about giving to the needy and not letting your left hand know what your right is doing. So you can have faith that things are going to work out, or that, someone is going to get the help they need. But you taking an action to going and helping them may be what you need to do to step out in faith. And not doing it for the glory of others and to glorify yourself, but to show that you have the love of Jesus in you, and let that being shown to everyone around you. The last passage I want to read is in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. For it is by grace ye have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. We have been saved by grace through faith. The Lord has created each and every one of us to do His work and His will. And I hope that you're living in that will and walking by faith every single day, taking those scary chances that others may look at and think it's crazy. People may judge you. People may say mean things to you as you're stepping out in faith. But know that you are doing the will of God. Pray for that wisdom. Pray that if you need that next step, that the Lord will show you what you need to do. I know personally for me, this channel is me stepping out in faith. For years, I was scared to do this. I knew that the Lord wanted me to do this, and I let fear overtake me. But not anymore. I am thankful that He has given me the strength and courage and perseverance to do this. And I hope that these videos are impacting your lives in some way. And I hope that this encourages you to step out in faith and to keep running the race that the Lord has for you. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.